Located on the former site of the Newcastle County Airport lies a graveyard home to hundreds of abandoned and decommissioned aircraft that have been left to rust and decay since 2018. Jenkins Airfield Aircraft Graveyard, also known as Airport 15N, is located in western Delaware and is still operated as a public airfield for private flyers. While many aircraft have been scrapped for parts and left to rot, there are still a number of planes which still stand in good condition. Join us as we explore this massive aircraft graveyard.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Luke Explores. Today we're in Delaware and we're checking out the abandoned Jenkins Airport. As you can see, we have an abandoned plane behind us and we're gonna get to the rest of this place, but there is more where this came from. So let's explore.
This particular aircraft is a N5825G or 6? G. Alright, let's see if any of the doors open. It looks like they're bolted shut. Ooh, no. Oh, they're open. Oh, that's so cool. It looks like they left most stuff here that was originally in the planes. There's some old tools back there. And then there's these startup cards. So I think this one has the pre-flight instructions for the exterior and the interior. And this one is the airport traffic light signals, which is pretty cool. So we're in the airfield right now, and it's really cool because there's a lot of planes that are just left to the elements, like these ones. Where are they? Over there? Yeah. And then there's these planes in these hangars, which actually look like they may not be abandoned. So we're going to check them out and make sure that before we explore those. We know there's an active runway here. Pretty sure it's called runway 15 or something at the Jenkins Airport. And it's made out of turf, and it's for public use. And these planes might be used for that. So that's what we're going to check out. But they're pretty dang cool. So let's see what else is here. Alright, so next plane. This one has the seat stripped, but most of the original controls are still in there. And I wish I knew something about airplanes. But for someone that doesn't know anything, this is still really cool. And all we did was turn one corner, and there's at least a bunch more back there. Do you recognize the Cessna? Let's see if this one opens. Yep. Oh, this one looks like it's in good shape. This one may not be abandoned. But you'd think if they're not abandoned, they'd lock them up. Alright, so from what you might be able to notice behind me, there's dozens, at least dozens, of planes, full body, just the shell, wings, everything, all over here, and even down in the field on the other side where you can't even see. I mean, what do you think? There might be hundreds here.
So many. And on Google Maps, they just look like white blobs.
Yeah, we weren't sure if they were just trailers or not, but I mean, look at this.
Well, it makes sense why they look so weird, because they're all, like, stripped apart.
Yeah, in one congested area. Honestly, Google Maps does a good job depicting this because, I mean, that's a wreck for you.
It's crazy.
Those are all planes. Overgrown. There's dozens more than we thought. And it just keeps going and going and going.
Look over
Yeah.
there.
It's like a swamp.
Of wings and metal. Okay, so this is just another example, look over here, of how many planes are in this plane graveyard. There's way too many to go through, but like, look at this one and see all like the plants in it, and this one's totally overgrown, and it's crazy. Luke, if you turn around, you'll see all the wings.
Yeah, it seems like they strip most of the wings from pretty much all the aircraft that aren't in the field. So we're trying to figure out what they did with them. Maybe they repurposed them or used them for something else. But there's hundreds of aircraft bodies here, though. All right, we just found a trail heading back into the graveyard. This gives us a perspective from the other side.
Yeah, look how overgrown that one is. There's like a tree coming out of the windshield.
I like the colors. The contrast is pretty cool. And these planes are pretty well kept. That's one of the things that this airfield is known for. Delaware has really dry and cool climates, and I'm pretty sure that helps preserve the airplanes. One theory that we did have is that Delaware does have hurricanes. Is it tornadoes or hurricanes?
Tornadoes sometimes.
Tornadoes, and maybe they're afraid of this stuff getting untouched and unearthed, and they wanted to take the wings off because of that. But that's just a potential possibility. Looks like a tree or some plants completely grew from the underside. That one has definitely been reclaimed by nature. Oh, look at, here's where they kept some of the wings. We've been looping around on this little trail around the graveyard for a little bit, and we've been wondering where the runway is. So there was, I think it was at least a quarter-mile long turf runway that should be connected to this airport on one side or another, and that's where they take and launch the active planes from. Again, it's a public airport, so I think that you are pretty much allowed to fly here no matter what, as long as you have the proper licensings. But it honestly looks like there was just about 200-300 individual plane crashes. And just to know that these planes were all owned and operated by someone at one point is crazy, because they're not in great condition now.
Look at this stick perfectly. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Look how big and sharp those stones are.
Crazy.
Alright, so we just found this shed, and we're assuming there's probably airplane parts in there. If you look down here, and actually on the inside, there's tires and wheels for the smaller planes, and it looks like they vary in size pretty greatly. Wow. I mean, there's not a lot in here, but
It just looks like parts.
yeah. Looks like a workshop. There's a bunch of books over there.
Yeah.
A bunch of equipment here.
A bunch of junk.
Probably worth a lot of money, honestly. It's pretty cool.
What's this thing? Don't touch it. Oh, God.
Shout out Ethan. What is this? You would know. Let me know in the comments.
This one's pretty cool because it's the only one that we've seen that I've noticed that has an engine still intact. And if you look down, someone made that to prop it up and then took the wings off.
I wonder if they were working on them at all, or if they were
Maybe.
just stripping them.
That would make sense if they were.
Alright, so we're back where we pretty much started. We came around the side where the trailer was, where there may or may not be someone staying, and we found a couple of these hangars where they're closed off, so we're assuming that these definitely have airplanes that are currently in use or being worked on to be in use that are active in there. And we can see one that they left open right there. So maybe they're working on them, maybe they're not, but it seems like for the most part it's just a junkyard, a boneyard. But it's pretty cool because there are quite a few planes here that are in mint condition, and that again is what this place is known for. So we're gonna head back and get some of the planes in the front, and then we're gonna get out of here. There's a couple of really cool cars that have been eaten up by nature over time. Full of algae. And they look like they've been here for a little while. And there's also this van, which looks like a serial killer's van. Alright guys, that is going to conclude our trip to the Jenkins Abandoned Airport and the graveyard. Overall, pretty cool experience. There was a lot more planes than I thought than what we saw online. Definitely recommend checking this place out. It looks like this place may or may not be legal to be here. We think it is. So if you want to come check this place out yourself, make sure to be respectful. This place is known for the airplanes being in pretty good condition. So make sure to leave it like you found it. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.